Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. And we had a beautiful day on the NASDAQ. We haven't closed yet on our futures chart, but we're currently up 0.62%, and we're probably going to close around that amount as well. And right now, if we take a look at the NASDAQ stock, the heat map over here, we can see that it's been a beautiful green day. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, all pretty strong here. Most of the stocks over 1%. And I really like to see that, especially considering that we are in all-time high territory. And we are still pushing higher and higher. We're currently, 3.2% away from our previous all-time high line. So I'd like to see that there's still strength. And again, there's no reason for you to be calling any form of a bear market because we are in the strongest position possible, especially for the NASDAQ. These all-time highs, these are when you get these rallies of 30-40% from the breakout. And I mean, just that alone is a good reason to not cut yourself short when it comes to your position, not closing it until you get good confirmation to close it, that being something like a massive bearish engulfing candle, or something like a Bollinger Band breakthrough where we're going up the upper band and we close out of the upper band and we start pushing down towards the lower band, then that would be a reason to sell. But right now, I mean, again, the sky's the limit. We could go to 25,000, we could go to 30,000. I can't tell you, and no one can tell you, and all you have to do is really just wait for that confirmation. So don't get struck from fear, because there's going to be a lot of people fear mongering because they missed out themselves. They weren't placing trades when they should have been placing trades with very obvious signs of a bull market, like over here. So you know what? Don't listen to the news, don't listen to the hype, whatever. Just follow the chart. That's literally it. As a trader myself that is unbiased, I don't follow any sources. There's nobody on YouTube, nobody on TikTok or Facebook that I'm following, just because I'm sticking true to my charts, and that has worked extremely successfully for me. Just for my NASDAQ trades alone, I'm currently up 165%, and so are all the other members in my Discord community. And that's just for the NASDAQ. For stocks, I started the stock chart for the Discord this week, and we're currently up 4%. We have a bunch of trades that are waiting to close, such as Apple, such as Google. And once we do, that's going to be like another 30 to 40% we're going to go up. So if you are interested in learning how to become a unbiased trader and a successful day trader, come take a look at the link in my description, wap.com/tmpfinance. But speaking about trades and speaking about the NASDAQ, we actually placed a trade on our Discord today, and this was a fantastic trade. Very, very simple, very, very clean. I placed this about the time that you're going to bed, and you would have woken up to that trade having to cash out just while you were asleep. And it was a very good trade here, and I'll show you exactly what that looked like. I'll pull out my OHLC over here, and what we did was we placed the trade at around 22,670, and what we said was, okay, if we break down below the previous open, then that would be our stop loss, and then our take profit was going to be right at this peak over here, right at the peak of our little downtrend there, and that's a 5 risk reward ratio. So you would have cashed out with 0.95% if you're unleveraged, but if you are a leveraged trader like everybody is in my Discord, that would have been about an 8.5% return. So I mean, that's fantastic. You know, overnight you just did somebody's TFSA, so boom. But yeah, NASDAQ trades super clean, you know, and we've been taking a lot of those and a lot more to come. Let's move on to our other stocks here. Apple, this is another stock that I am waiting for a position to close. We placed our trade over here, and we're currently waiting for a very clean touch at 217. We were very close, and I think that Apple has been lacking behind, but it always typically lacks behind in these bull trends. Just think about where you were last year in 2024 when we were down to like $160 a share, and then we had this massive rally. And this rally was like in 2-3 weeks, you have this massive upside, and that's definitely something that you wouldn't have had time to react for, really. So that being said, I'm expecting something like that to happen with Apple. Maybe not to that extent or that degree, but definitely a nice move to the upside. So I'm waiting for a nice close at 217, and after that, we will receive about a 25% return, 25.5% return in Apple. If you haven't placed a trade for Apple yet, I think tomorrow will be a good opportunity. Right here we have our support. Over here we have our resistance. I think that if we open up, if we have that wick, the lower wick starts to form, I think that's a great time for you to place your trade. You can get somewhere from like a 2 to a 3 risk reward ratio, and then from there you can expect to reach 217. So that is a great trade that you can be taking for Apple tomorrow. Let's take a look at another stock that I think has a lot of upside potential, Target. Target, if we take a look, and let's just zoom out, we'll look at the 1 week chart over here. Let me see. Where's the 1 week chart? There we go. If we take a look at the 1 week chart over here, we can see that we had this recent touch of 2020 prices over here, and looks like we're having rejection from that price point as well. This is a pretty significant area. You have a previous all-time high, you have a retest of that level. So I think that this is a very strong, we can call this another retest, and from there I think we can expect to move higher. Now, how high do I expect to move in Target? This is a huge, massive falling stock. We were up at $270 a share before, and we're currently at 102, the lowest being in recent times, $88 a share. So there's a lot of room for upside. Now, Target, do I expect them to have new all-time highs? I mean, maybe in the future, but I'm not gonna bet my life savings on that. But what I will do is I will take a kind of like a half take profit. So I'm not aiming for all-time highs, but I think there is a very obvious resistance line at about $180 a share, especially if we break out of this downtrend over here. That's definitely something that you can be looking out for, $180 a share for your take profit. But right now, your trade is looking like this. It's very safe here, and I think this is a very good contender for a trade. Again, that same $170 take profit, and then you just have your stop loss right at the swing low over here, and that's a great risk to reward trade as well. If we are waiting for a breakout here, there's two ways you can trade this. One is going to be buying when you have your price really low to the stop loss area over here, and then that has a lot of upside potential, but not that much confirmation. Or you can wait for a little bit more confirmation, but a little bit less, I guess, profit taking, right? So it would probably be something like that, and a little bit more waiting as well. But I think Target has a lot of upside potential as well. I will like to see the earnings report in August. I think that might have a lot of bullish implications. So can't wait to see that. Let's move on to UNH, and UNH over here, it is not really breaking out now. This is not a fantastic resistance line here, but it is a potential one. I don't expect UNH to have this much selling momentum held up for so long, just because this move here, this is about 50% lower, and I don't think that's very sustainable for UNH. And again, it is just a bad set of circumstances. I don't think that it's a damaged company or a flawed company by any means. I think in a few months from now, or even a year or two from now, when everybody forgets about the drama, UNH will rocket back up. So that being said, you can be buying here, having your stop loss right at the swing low. This is a very good candidate for a bottom, a market bottom over here. Or what you can do, if you want a little bit more confirmation, just wait for a break of this green line to the upside, and that's pretty much it. But UNH, I think there's a lot of money to be made for UNH, so do take advantage of that. Let's take a look at Nike over here. Nike has been very weak in the past years, kind of like Target here, and it's the same kind of deal here. You can be buying, and it's rebounded a lot since earnings, but what I'm waiting for Nike is a break of resistance line, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Something like this, and we're really not that far away from the resistance line. So if we do break above the resistance line there, you can be looking, I'm not going to say for all-time highs. Maybe if you're a long-term investor, that's fine, sure. But I'm going to look where there's a lot of volume in the market, and I'm seeing a lot of price action moving around this $100 line here. And take a look at this, a lot of support, a lot of resistance, and also very psychological number, $100 a share. So I think that this is a great trade that you can take. Stop loss right at a swing low of the previous higher low, and then your take profit at $100. I think that could be a fantastic trade for Nike there, and I think that once we break above this resistance line, you'll start to see a huge bullish move. So that is my thoughts for the stock market today. So if you are interested in becoming a profitable trader, come take a look at the link in the description. But for the rest of y'all, I will see you tomorrow with a new video. So peace out, y'all. Take care.